Junot Diaz is a Dominican-American writer. He became a literary sensation after winning a Pulitzer Prize for his novel The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde in 2008. Diaz was born on December 31st, 1968 in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. He was raised in New Jersey by his mother with his two other brothers and two other sisters. He grew up without a father, so he didn't grow up very wealthy. In his high school days, he didn't do very well or get good grades, but he read a lot. Before he got into writing, he had many jobs, such as working at a steel mill and delivering pool tables. Diaz earned his bachelor's in history and literature at Rutgers College in 1992 and pursued his master's in fine arts and creative writing at Cornell University. This is where he started writing short stories that soon came to be known as his first published collection called Drown in 1996. Drown explores the violent history of the Dominican Republic. It is a collection of stories that follows Junior, the narrator, throughout his immigration to the United States, when his mother sends him and his brother to live with their uncle so she can work. Their father, Ramon, is a hardworking man, but struggles to provide for himself and his family. The stories basically chronicle how hard it is for a man to move and immigrate with his family and make a living and name for themselves. Drown was received mostly positively by critics. The San Francisco Chronicle called it a stunning collection of stories that offers an unsentimental glimpse of life among the immigrants from the Dominican Republic, and other frontline reports on the ambivalent promise of the American dream by an eloquent and original writer who describes more than physical dislocation in conveying the price that is paid for leaving culture and homeland behind. Though Drown was a major hit, it is safe to dictate that The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde is his most famous composition. Oscar Wilde is a stereotypical nerd. He used to be very popular when he was younger, but as he got older, he became chubbier and got into science fiction writing and was always being bullied. He becomes smitten over a girl, but she won't give him the time of day. The story also chronicles and is narrated by his sister Lola and Junior, his college roommate. Junior and Lola try to get him to lose weight and help him socially. Oscar manages to do so for a while, but goes back to his old ways of no exercise and binge eating. Junior is convinced that Oscar may be living under a family curse known as Fuku. Soon the book follows Belly, Oscar and Lola's mother, and tells her life story and her abuse in a teenage violent relationship. Diaz uses the Trujillo era of the Dominican Republic to give the vibe of what life was like. He uses his own life to write most of his stories, and uses his writings as an outlet to tell the world about the struggle and history of his people, more notably in The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde. In the end, Oscar is shot and killed by the gangster, and Belly gets cancer a year later. Lola and Junior move on with their lives. The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde received high acclaim from book critics. It won a Pulitzer Prize in 2008, and Time magazine praised it as a massive, heaving, sparkling tragic comedy. One of Diaz's most recent works, This Is How You Lose Her, is another collection of short stories. The majority of his stories deal with men's infidelity and romantic relationships. Diaz describes the book as being a tale about a young man's struggle to overcome his cultural training and inner habits in order to create lasting relationships. By the end of the book, he finally begins to see the woman in his life as fully human. He finally gains, after much suffering, a true human imaginary, something that for the average guy is very difficult to obtain, considering that most of us are socialized to never imagine women as fully human. The book received positive reviews from elite publications like the New York Times. It describes the book, in the new book as previously, Diaz is almost too good for his own good. His prose style is so irresistible, so sheerly entertaining, it risks blinding readers to its larger offerings. Yet he was formed so ideally to content that instead of blinding, it becomes the very lens through which we can see the joy and suffering of the signature Diaz subject. What it means to belong to a diaspora, to live out the possibilities and ambiguities of perpetual insider-outsider status. This Is How You Lose Her was a finalist for the National Book Award for Fiction in 2012 and the Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence in Fiction in 2013. Today you can find Junot Diaz working as a professor at MIT. One of his students had this to say: I was a writing major in addition to a math major, and Junot's class was the first real writing class I ever had. I've always been a bookworm, but I don't think I learned to read until Junot taught me to write. How do we navigate this life with the noble promises of our expanding human knowledge propelling us into the stars, only for battering of our pathetic human hearts to tear us back down into the grime? These writing classes were the other half of the equation for me. Junot Diaz is one of the most prolific Dominican American writers of our time. His writings have given everyone a look into the lives of immigrants coming to the United States from the Dominican Republic.